Welcome back to another episode of What If here on the Filmaholic channel. We are continuing our 90s MCU. This is the last full film that we're doing for the 90s MCU. Next week we are going to be coming back with Phase 4 and giving some directors and some small casting for that. We don't really know like the full cast and everything for those movies, but we're going to maybe try our best with the Black Widow and then the directors for the other ones. But we're doing Spider-Man 2, Far From Home here. Which in our MCU would have came out November 1999. Do you want to go? For me to go first? Do you want to go first?
Yeah, yours. You have a different storyline, I think. So.
Yeah, I do.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So I'm keeping the title, obviously. But Spider-Man 2: Far From Home is what my title is. And it's sort of similar to the actual Far From Home, but I'm changing it up because obviously my Spider-Man was a little bit different because, I don't think Homecoming would have happened in the 90s. I think I merged kind of like different ones together. Doc Ock was my villain in my first one. In this one, I am keeping Mysterio as the main villain. And some of the things are the same. So, people still got snapped away. Peter got snapped away, came back in Endgame. He's here now. But I'm switching it up a little bit. So in my version, Gwen Stacy and Harry did not get snapped. And so now in this film, they are 5 years older than Peter. So Liz, she did get snapped. Flash got snapped. So they'll be the same age still as Peter. I'm not sure everything, but the film does take them to Europe as well for a small part of the film. Maybe not the whole film, like the actual Far From Home movie, but some of it they do go to Europe for a trip. And this is around when he graduates high school, is in my version actually. And Harry would be he's at the end of college now.
Yeah.
And preparing to work for his father, who's introduced in this movie. Actually, I think I had him in the last movie in a small cameo, but he's coming back in this one, Norman Osborn, in a little bit bigger role. And he will be returned. Willem Dafoe is coming back as Norman Osborn in the movie. Obviously, start things off. My returning cast, it features Tobey Maguire as Peter Parker, Reese Witherspoon returning as Gwen Stacy, who, like I said, is 5 years older. She's in college now, and she's going to Oxford. So the part of the film that we'll see with her, Peter in London with her and whatnot, which will be interesting because her life continued on, and they were just together. So they still have a bit of like love interest in the story, but also it's different for her. Leonardo DiCaprio is returning back as Harry Osborn. Brittany Murphy returning as Liz Allen. Ryan Phillippe returning as Flash Thompson. Randy Quaid returning as Happy Hogan. And Sally Field as Aunt May. And Willem Dafoe as Norman Osborn / Green Goblin. As well as Laura Dern as Maria Hill. Clint Eastwood as Nick Fury. So, like I said, the lead villain of the film would be Quentin Beck Mysterio. Pretty much what you got from Far From Home is this exact same thing that we'll be seeing him do in this movie. Except for one minor thing. The technology that he's using and whatnot and stuff is going to be connected to Oscorp in that version, where he is getting the money to do all of this stuff from Oscorp, which that's how he's tied into Norman, played by Willem Dafoe. But my Quentin Beck Mysterio is going to be played by Brendan Fraser, who was obviously very big at this point. You got The Mummy coming out and whatnot. So he's coming in. Got the face for the character. A little bit different, him playing a villain too this time around. But like I said, he'll be the main villain of the film, but until he's defeated at the end. And then that's when Green Goblin's going to come in for just a little bit. We're not going to see Green Goblin much in the movie. We're going to kind of tease it earlier on with Norman about the formula, but he's actually going to become Green Goblin at the end of the film. We'll have the final part with him in New York. We'll probably have the final showdown and stuff with Mysterio, whatnot. in London and then move the other stuff to New York. I'm not sure how that's going to play out, but have Green Goblin come in. There's a small fight between him and Spider-Man in this film, which then ultimately results in him killing Gwen Stacy at the end of this movie. And then he gets away. So he doesn't get defeated, doesn't go to jail, doesn't get killed. Goblin gets away, and Norman decides to put away the formula after he comes back from his trip as Goblin. He decides to put it away. But Gwen Stacy does die at the end of this film, which brings me to my next thing. We're also bringing in Mary Jane Watson in this film, who is the same age as Peter. So she's somebody who would have been younger than him, but like she didn't get snapped, so she aged the 5 years. So now she's in his grade with him. So now they're the same age. That makes why she wasn't in the last movie. And for Mary Jane Watson, I have Mila Jovovich. Mia Jovovich, whatever. She's coming in as Mary Jane Watson in this film.
Because this was around the time of Resident Evil, right?
I think
Maybe
so.
I think before something like that.
I think right before, but we'd already seen her in Dazed and Confused.
Yeah.
Fits the age. Yeah. Around 19, probably about 98, 99. So she's coming in as MJ. Obviously, in a small role. Peter's not working there yet, but I would have the movie end too, like the actual Far From Home ends, but slightly differently. So at the end of the movie, that footage would get leaked, and you would see J. Jonah Jameson at the end. Probably wouldn't. I don't know if it'd be a news thing, if it might be in the paper. I'm not sure how they go about it, but they would reveal that Spider-Man is like killed Mysterio and make him out to be a villain in the next film. That's how this movie would end, but it wouldn't give away that he was Peter Parker to the world. I don't like that, taking it out of the movie, but they are going to put him as an antagonist. And J.K. Simmons is obviously playing J. Jonah Jameson. And the last casting choice I made was the character Dimitri, who was in Far From Home. Small character, was a kind of, just a guy who worked with Mysterio. But they might be setting him up for something bigger in the actual MCU because Dimitri is Chameleon. So in this one, I cast him as well, and I cast Bruce Campbell as Dimitri, who worked with Sam Raimi, who's coming back, obviously directed my first Spider-Man. He's coming back to direct my second Spider-Man. That's my full cast.
You didn't cast Betty Brant?
No, because you're not going to get much of that in this movie. You're just going to get really them say that he's the villain, and that all you need for that is J. Jonah Jameson.
Oh, well, I cast her, so she was a big part in the actual Far From Home, like Ned.
Oh, I'm taking that whole. Ned's not even in mine.
Yeah, you said you're not in my movie. Get out of here.
Get out.
So yeah, mine, like you say, Sam Raimi, still directing the sequel. Jake Gyllenhaal as Peter Parker, Marissa Tomei as Aunt May, Rachel Lee Cook, let's see, was Michelle, Tobey Maguire as Ned, Adam Brody as Flash, and Bob Hoskins as Happy Hogan. I just did Mysterio and Betty Brant for my new characters. Well, like you, like Mysterio, I chose somebody who has never played a villain, really. I got Kevin Costner coming in. Big in the 90s. Kind of faded out after that Waterworld incident. I was like, wait, we're going to bring him back, dude. And then Betty Brant, I've got Scarlett Johansson playing that role.
Cool.
So.
Yeah.
I didn't
interest.
Storyline, so.
Well, I had to come up with, I was changing it up because, I don't know. Just don't think it would have went the same way that the MCU is doing in terms of, this came out in the 90s, so. Yeah, interested to see.
Kevin Costner could.
Setting it up, too, with my Norman here. He gets away at the end, but, we lose Gwen Stacy, he murders her, but next time we see Norman, he's maybe he'll be Iron Patriot. Maybe. Or maybe I'll just keep hoping.
You keep hoping it's not going to happen.
All right, guys, that's our 90s what if of Spider-Man Far From Home.